From the dawn of time we came, moving silently down through the centuries, living many secret lives, struggling to reach the time of the gathering, when the few who remain will battle to the last. No one has ever known we were among you, until now.
Sliding off the edge of forever, the bedlam beggar. I sold my marbles for gold and became the storyteller. Many an endeavor, stepping ever nearer. All became clear approaching these new eras. Quills and parchments lay scattered about the scene. He who could not be redeemed, floating downstream. Come take a look at what I've seen inside the imagination. A clear deterioration through close observation. Standing in the doorways in more ways than one. I shall think of you always until this day is done. An innocence so sure of empty-handed beauty. As shrapnel lands where I stand, who dares try to remove me? I play the flute as I await a fate less expected. The fiddler in pursuit, I left him with a message of pure euphoria, crushed dimples and crumpled linen. I stay surrounded in women, this is just the beginning. Keep whinging, won't you marry me? With characteristic clarity, giving back to me with blasphemy. I misplaced all my faculties, a family tree of agony. I broke down off the tragedy, but please come to terms with the fact I once lived happily. And some say, hey, he may have brought the plague. Staring into submission, he's been vomiting for days. Discontent shall be sent until we meet again. Desecrated daily in a world without change. And some say, hey, he may have caught the plague. Staring into submission, he's been vomiting for days. Discontent shall be sent until we meet again. Desecrated daily in a world without change. Behind these vacant eyes lies a violent criminal. When the eagle does not chase flies, highly subliminal. As the sound clashes, my body built from ashes, broken down over centuries to where I lay clattered, happily carried towards the burial ground in a shroud. A cloud of such doubt should touch upon you only now. Where is my Wagtown now? I once made her blush. Where is my Wagtown now? Buried in the dust. We met as guests in the night, needing some kind of closure, taking you back to a place where you wished it was all over. Am I not satisfied until my quest is complete? And your anguish becomes a blessing of nothing more so sweet. A hatred rekindled in a request undelivered. When she sat back for decades, grew old and withered. Ghastly shivers sent down your spine, I have arrived. Much pressure I applied, prying without reply. I talked to the herds, gave them much comfort in my words, but told them that my escape must not be observed. Restored in the law as I grew more obscure. All wounds became cured, so exhausting to endure. And some say, hey, he may have caught the plague. Staring into submission, he's been vomiting for days. Discontent shall be sent until we meet again. Desecrated daily in a world without change. And some say, hey, he may have caught the plague. Staring into submission, he's been vomiting for days. Discontent shall be sent until we meet again. Desecrated daily in a world without change. The nightingale sang until the thorn pierced the heart, as loud as the morning lark till death do us part. Scantily clad nasty, you simply can't surpass me. I'm stalking to devour through the hourglass darkly, as bluebells wilt in the swaying midnight rain. I'm the beast preordained, running through my veins, blood-stained, pain and passion. You witnessed as it happens, as the crowds were amassing the heavens. Came crashing, made amendments to my exemptions, still fondly remembered. My ribs grew into wings as my tail feathers severed. In chariots and cherubs, the architect's perspective, I sent a death wish for you heathens to try catch this. The brave contender, you must venture with flailing temper. The wailing harsh winds came to pass through your splendor. Innocuous buffalo skulls, sensory overload. Flames bask around the castle, the last stronghold. A tragic deathless classic, I became more erratic. Confused in the views I gave, I caused panic. Messianic messages sent without redemption. Unpleasant, depressant, left bent in aggression. A tragic deathless classic, I became more erratic. Confused in the views I gave, I caused panic. Messianic messages sent without redemption. Unpleasant, pleasantly present, left bent in aggression. The bee runner pollinates the sun all day long. Many moments of her sadness placed inside a song. Rivers run backwards, all spirits flow as one. After many a summer dies the lonely swan. Tilt the earth's axis, brought me back from the blackness. Sit back and watch me crack this with an iron fist. Ludicrously dismissed on a flying winged disc. That residue of bitterness, what heart shall desire this? An unequivocal waste evaporates, taste the greatness. I formed in many shapes, interlaced, lifting weightless. In my palm where the vulture just landed on a strand. The diagram transcends the pioneer's plan. Move across and expand, obscured by the lure of money. All fates have now changed, most ever so abruptly. Entrusted in a clutch with order was disruptive. With every dagger thrust, the lust was interrupted. A tragic, deathless classic, I became more erratic. Confused in the views I gave, I caused panic. Messianic messages sent without redemption. Unpleasantly present, left bent in aggression. A tragic, deathless classic, I became more erratic. Confused in the views I gave, I caused panic. Messianic messages sent without redemption. Unpleasantly present, left bent in aggression. A sketch to remember, two lives drawn together. Slumped in all weather, waiting on a promise forever. Underpinned on the fringes where I dragged him in. Told him of a world I knew where the outcome remains dim. Descriptive imagery worked will astonish in words. Acknowledge, pay homage to the dead mockingbird. You still couldn't forsake, devastate, or wake me. I still treasure all these moments that you gave into where you chased me. Ever the innovator, I place my faith in nature. It's not all that it could be, but nothing could be greater. The perpetrator was the one who couldn't stay true. I never even heard of you, still nothing remains new. A horseshoe for luck tucked inside my belt buckle. Everywhere I kept looking, but all I found was trouble. Dusty knuckles torn, we tear away the veil. Set ablaze on this trail, you was all designed to no avail. A tragic, deathless classic, I became more erratic. Confused in the views I gave, I caused panic. Messianic messages sent without redemption. Unpleasantly present, left bent in aggression. A tragic, deathless classic, I became more erratic. Confused in the views I gave, I caused panic. Messianic messages sent without redemption. Unpleasantly present, left bent in aggression. The background became too terrible for you to bear. A medieval love affair set with a stare. I wonder empty where you sent me, sick with the envy. You can never befriend me, so don't try to comprehend me. Call me stark, raving mad from all the visions that I've had. Locked in cuffs on a bus where you women turn bad. But books made cheerful with flowers, forgotten hours, all dissolved into timeless doom. Snow showers, a fabulous Damascus on glorious embroideries. Delicately poised between two maidens anointing me. Take a second to imagine but still couldn't fathom. I chased all these dragons off down these dark chasms. You sat waiting in patience, sketching many innovations. Frescoed representations of elaborate constellations. All cheers of jubilation of the most sincere. Through the years of innovation I dissipate and disappear. Dark romanticism, I have risen, sinister stricken. You trapped with me inside this prison of indecision. As slowly as you went is as slowly as you came. She kissed me all the same, didn't even ask for my name. Dark romanticism, I have risen, sinister stricken. You trapped with me inside this prison of indecision. As slowly as you went is as slowly as you came. She kissed me all the same, didn't even ask for my name. Succumb and step near, became so delightful to hear. Held a rifle to your head until your thoughts became clear. Many days filled in rage were all insurmountable. Where the poppy no longer grows in a field once bountiful. All the daffodils wept and cried, no my friend seriously. On a night he was vehemently denied and died mysteriously. An unknown disappearance on an Everest expedition. Got loose from more division in this brief intermission. So deep is your gratitude shackled within the boughs. As the tiger prowls through the long grass, the here and now. And some pave what they believed was heaven beyond the grave. My quatrains contain all that there is left to gain. Insecurity so sharply carved they became your immunity. Riding on the waves of temptation, outbursts of lunacy. Impunity, delicious, fictitious, ambitiously wealthy. I'm screaming out loud but there's nobody here to help me. Dark romanticism, I have risen, sinister stricken. You trapped with me inside this prison of indecision. As slowly as you went is as slowly as you came. She kissed me all the same, didn't even ask for my name. Dark romanticism, I have risen, sinister stricken. You trapped with me inside this prison of indecision. As slowly as you went is as slowly as you came. She kissed me all the same, didn't even ask for my name. Descending from great heights to a life less contented. Falling from where you stand without success you reach a zenith. A falcon fully fledged, the face at the water's edge of your spouse, bound by his words and all that he said. A victim of his own depravity, I became the insanity, dragged from the cavities of the mind haphazardly. We the epitome of all that's lost, standing at the crossroads in the field of cloth of gold. All the glimmers shall be sold, the philosopher's stone, all awash with animosity. Excesses of the aristocracy kept dropping me. Speak properly, but was never discussed of enough. Blow the dust off my tombstone, reveal the cause was just. My solace in your guilt proved too heavy to carry. Down the aisle you came, locked in chains, all set to marry. This paintbrush handled with care, I was never truly there. Cut a locket of your hair, kept for moments of despair.
You miserable bastards! How dare you make trouble in my house?
Look at that sun long enough, you go blind. Or worse, mad.
Best to dig two graves when you embark on revenge. An astonishing resemblance may reach you at the end. Many men came sent for me, but could never get the best of me. As another life forms, spawns and ends with energy, I throw you off course with this longbow efficiency. Many months after war, he died from dysentery. Keep missing me with every word carved with intimacy. Many promises were made, yet you brought me only misery. Deep and distasteful, come let the romance take you to a place above the stars where we await to break you. A career severely muddled in a complex struggle. I stroll with the troubled kind, pennies in the puddle. The full picture in the puzzle, I stake claims and guzzle. Why would you stand there just to watch me juggle? Muzzle folding arms, speech loader as I move closer. The silent composer, I place the lilas in his holster. A unicorn reborn into something you now mourn. Overthrown and withdrawn, laid out and left torn. Adorning a hopeless dawn over which you have blown. Go softly into that unknown where you now roam. A unicorn reborn into something you now mourn. Overthrown and withdrawn, laid out and left torn. Adorning a hopeless dawn over which you have flown. Go softly into that unknown where you now roam. Clouded by the views you gave in search of perfection. Suppress attention, open doors to new perceptions. The resurrection sight blighted in earthly delights. Grip in addiction is where I held you tight. One bite from the rotten apple, you grapple with the concept. Standing on the shoulders of giants, but lost all with one bet. I tiptoed to kiss this, literature be my mistress. I wrote this down 7 times, never to forget this. Allow me to describe and draw the reflection in your eye. Each direction they flew by, asking who am I? I came to claim this bounty of your ship and cause a mutiny. Yeah, every step shall be foreshadowed in gaping scrutiny. Inside feverish screams was a freedom seldom seen. I've been waiting up all evening asking where have you been? Coughing out my chest in this brewing unrest. Come walk a little faster, I'll lead you to my nest. A unicorn reborn into something you now mourn. Overthrown and withdrawn, laid out and left torn. Adorning a hopeless dawn over which you have flown. Go softly into that unknown where you now roam. A unicorn reborn into something you now mourn. Overthrown and withdrawn, laid out and left torn. Adorning a hopeless dawn over which you have flown. Go softly into that unknown where you now roam. Narcotics in my top pocket, a reacquainted love of a trust that once was, now nothing lies thereof. The naked draped gothic lady drove me crazy. We danced until dusk into new forms, asking maybe. Indulging in cocaine rages, a sculpture untamed. I used the same knife to cut her down once again. This is when the demons came, calling out in vain. Like you didn't know me, let me go and live lowly. Dangerous affiliation with the sect kept you wondering. You force-fed the bread of resentment in your suffering. No shreds of evidence, we live lives so decadent. Could it be that the Virgin Queen really remained celibate? A reassurance so binding, but still you kept declining. Hiding from the dread of finding became more satisfying. And plowing on regardless, overhead we still flying. Gliding above the battle site to where night lay dying. A unicorn reborn into something you now mourn. Overthrown and withdrawn, laid out and left torn. Adorning a hopeless dawn over which you have flown. Go softly into that unknown where you now roam. A unicorn reborn into something you now mourn. Overthrown and withdrawn, laid out and left torn. Adorning a hopeless dawn over which you have flown. Go softly into that unknown where you now roam. the shade, all my ambitions were erased. Besieged by new thoughts and ideas of the age. As angels appeared round my jaw, grew a white beard. I became slightly paler, it all became weird. Return favors with the hidden faces of the invaders. Get heads impaled on pikes to warn of war traitors. Keep impeded, receiving it all through tower readings. Deceitful dealings in the backdrop, we sat scheming. Misleadings, all appealing, so revealing to revere. Seeking for a sequel, but none shall be found here. You must stand over there and strip yourself bare. As she helped me out wealthy and led me to a lair. Nowhere man, Vanity Fair, howling out the oddities. I died penniless in poverty, so why would you bother me? Dishonesty banished, I was famished in hunger. As I vanished amongst the upmost and grew younger. She rose up on all fours and began to tremble. As my body broke down into sound and was reassembled. Who said you reaching back as I drew the curtains closed? Hesitant and exposed, way down in the zone. Down every corridor you saw me standing there. Come closer, I suggested, no, you wouldn't dare. The most austere, I'm troubled quite severe. Smear devil's blood and all that I loved and held dear. Down every corridor you saw me standing there. Come closer, I suggested, no, you wouldn't dare. The most austere, I'm troubled quite severe. Smear devil's blood and all that I loved and held dear. A terminal decline, turning towards the sublime. There's something quite magnificent still for you to find. 1,000 miles there, throw your bonnets in the air. In a place where many memories were once made there. As silent prayers whispered, the fears were expressed. When asked to confess, I took a gasp and held my breath. Undressed clothes swelled into thick clouds of moths. Dwelling round the lampshade is where I picked them off. Strolling outlandish, you drove me towards this madness. Petulant scoundrels, imbalance is what we brandish. Inconsolable bouts of depression, switch to swift ecstasy. Never a lesson learned, come meet the end of me. Get plenty with a fractured sense of identity. How do I break this news to you? Why did you send me? A resplendent life sense sloping out of focus. Kept me calm in open arms, watching all opponents. Won't you wait a moment please, to see what we decree? I'm still talking to the breeze, bleeding for a reprieve. He grew weak and couldn't breathe, struck down by a disease. Every free man shall be seized and all buried at sea. Down every corridor you saw me standing there. Come closer, I suggested, no, you wouldn't dare. The most austere, I'm troubled quite severe. Smear devil's blood and all that I loved and held dear. Down every corridor you saw me standing there. Come closer, I suggested, no, you wouldn't dare. The most austere, I'm troubled quite severe. Smear devil's blood and all that I loved and held dear. On all that I loved and held dear. Dark romanticism, TCG, Sinister Stricken, the Bedlam Beggar. Language of flowers, language of flowers, language of flowers.
Now, you, Magario, may take your men to the south gate. Polifante to the north gate. Iperbio, you'll defend Berenipo on his right flank, and Hector on his left. Ah, Lastene. And wasn't it of you that Creon said, trust that man with your soldiers. You'll defend the most vulnerable point, the main gate of Thebes.
I was once reminiscent of your pearl gaze. We drank for days to scratch away the burden of our ways. Chastised behind the gorman poise, I was annoyed. Out my mouth flew a dove distorted in white noise. Many voices in my head said you have been misled. A painting contemplating death hangs above my bed. She stands with a bayonet pierced through her hand, holding a musket with a burning sense of injustice. How I crushed it with laughter, we knights of the garter. We came sadly after in the hells of your departure. As we parted on bad terms, I made my feelings felt. Collapse your house of cards you was dealt until it melts. For this I offer no weapon of purity and protection. Under candlelight is where I write in detection. I marked where I'm scarred and gave my regards. She was once cherished and loathed in a story untold. Rejected, let go, you fell in love with your own ego. A rocking horse in the window, one step too close. And clever those who chose, knowing of the true virtue. You ran away so far, you came back full circle. I placed a venomous snake inside of her bouquet. Told her to walk this way with one foot in the grave. Turn the page, I cracked his cheekbone with my rage. The dead canary sings sings, the more lion in a cage. I placed a venomous snake inside of her bouquet. Told her to walk this way with one foot in the grave. Turn the page, I cracked his cheekbone with my rage. The dead canary sings, the more lion in a cage. I was bathed in the blood of martyrs throughout these deadly sagas. With charging archers, many disasters that we've harbored. A father killed his 6 children in a blaze to frame his lover. An imperial gift to no other, I move undercover. Raise a wire, call it auction of extortion. Expose you there in disrepair, sheltered amongst the orphans. An age of much expected, I was salvaged from the wreckage. Come bring them to my kingdom in old rustic England. Resurrected on the battlefields, I am the new dawn. Come usher in my name silently, with all guns drawn. Many ups and downs along the way, still I stay loving you. Running through, crushing you with every word that I smothered you. A fragrant disregarded in this occasion of engagement. Every variation of your statement lay complacent. Man lung from bleak outside, rouse suspicion. Come spoil me with loyalty and all that was given. In my absence, all weak hearts soon grew fonder. As I laid down my armor to restore the dishonor. We move upon the stage, setting fire to the impure. You shall adore no more of all that was once before. I placed a venomous snake inside of her bouquet. Told her to walk this way with one foot in the grave. Turn the page, I cracked his cheekbone with my rage. The dead canary sings, the more lion in a cage. I placed a venomous snake inside of her bouquet. Told her to walk this way with one foot in the grave. Turn the page, I cracked his cheekbone with my rage. The dead canary sings, the more lion in a cage. Come listen what we bring, come listen how we sing. Come listen what we bring, listen what we bring. Come listen how we sing, listen how we sing. I raise a glass to the upper class with a middle finger. Lingering symbols of a windfall, this beginner. One miracle survivor, this right of unofficial. At the beginning of the end is when I start to miss you. This heart is brought forth to consolidate the past. Mischievously wishing so volatile and vast. As our life suddenly became poison in the Boston of time. In bed where I saw you taking all that was mine. As I wrote another rhyme with such notable grandeur. Stranded in this stanza, broadcasting propaganda. The hair with the amber eyes swollen and denied. He's been singing all night, many tales of my demise. Gave away all the gifts you proved furiously pursued. I was immortalized in portraits to which you had no clue. She kept saying there's nothing about us without us. Who could ever doubt us? In the gardens is where they found us. There's mice in my mind that move precise like clockwork. Perched undeserved of an uncertain worth. I lurk in the murky parts of this panoramic view. To bewilder and bemuse, slept with the devil you knew. Come tell me of your dreams, they were yours to foresee. Clenched with such glee, you would surely disagree. Come take a walk with me, talk on all you'd like to be. When will we wake again, neither slave nor free? Come tell me of your dreams, they were yours to foresee. Clenched with such glee, you would surely disagree. Come take a walk with me, talk on all you'd like to be. When will we wake again, neither slave nor free? The laudanum influence, stupid substance abuse. Caught in that exact moment but couldn't tell the truth. Secretly seduced, outwandered the recluse. Swigging from a bowl, then jumping from the roof. I appeared ever sickly and disappeared more quickly. Only through separation could I tell how much you miss me. There's kestrels on the wire, devoted notes in the fire. Vengeance with a vendetta, no affection to acquire. Standing upright, contemplating your plight. I've been frantically pacing up and down all night. This like the first sight, blinded by the light. Barefoot into the woods with you, I go striding out of sight. This time last May, I was asking won't you stay? How could it all turn this way into a state of decay? Searching for the hope but couldn't cope with the strain. She became broke, had a stroke and never spoke again. Come tell me of your dreams, they were yours to foresee. Clenched with such glee, you would surely disagree. Come take a walk with me, talk on all you'd like to be. When will we wake again, neither slave nor free? Come tell me of your dreams, they were yours to foresee. Clenched with such glee, you would surely disagree. Come take a walk with me, talk on all you'd like to be. When will we wake again, neither slave nor free?
September 15th, 1600, the Toyotomi and the Tokugawa, battling for control of Japan, clashed in a brutal battle at Sekigahara. The Toyotomi had 84,000 soldiers, the Tokugawa only 74,000. But after 8 hours of gruesome battle, the Tokugawa had completely annihilated their enemy.
I was captured traveling alone in a cold war zone. She gave me music to soothe an old restless soul. A thing of beauty is a joy forever to behold. Descriptions of ourselves letting go, we all perish alone. Circling a pool of gin, the stranger from within. You must climb down from these mountains and surrender everything. But they still sing, like the sons of man must suffer. They were brothers from the same mother, but they murdered each other. Condemned to an horrific end, colliding silently. There's idols that sleep, weeping deep inside of me. The gentle slide from your belief with nothing to declare. Nothing left of this affair, all that we are to compare. I was discovered clutching lovers under fallen structures. They who could never touch us, abduct or disrupt us. Like censures frolicking, she caught a glimpse of her stockings. She used to confuse, still dancing like nobody's watching. And if these hills could speak, of what stories would they tell? She tumbled off the cliff where a rift that wouldn't heal. All chills, nerves frayed, left me dreadfully deranged. In that disappearing distance, I faithfully ebbed away. The elegance and the glory of all that stands before me. Powers of deception I captured to reassure me. As I came face to face with the capacity of your destruction. Swept up in dysfunctions and crumbled in seduction. Fascinating connections, confessions in your expressions. Woeful intentions and obsession with dejection. In my sharp, sorrowful stance, soon to implode. Can you please give these plants their rightful chance to grow? Immensely expensive with plenty of intensity. The tortoiseshell vibrancy was never meant for me. As I placed my berry down to dazzle a merry crowd. Intimately bound in the foreground where you scrounge. I astound walking backwards acutely embroiled. Joyful in association that was soon to recoil. The power fragile imitation of a sliding reality. Languished in the deepest depths of your scandalous profanity. She sat perplexed, yeah her eyes suggest yes. But there was still no knowing of where you going next. Unsurpassed I laugh where a plague mask and dance. Only when deceased was I stopped and now shall rest at last.
At my signal, you will start the duel. There can be no quarter called and no quarter given. The fate of the victim is in the hands of the victor. The moment has come.
The moment has come, moment has gone. Mad long, mad long, mad long, mad long, mad long. With tears in the sun, I watched her as she sung. I came here to desert you, asking what have you become? All swords were drawn towards all the more painful. A woman who does not return home, unassailable. A man who could not love, found escapism in drugs. As many claims were made to what lies above. Glancing back in disgust is how you walked away. I wish you well, my fair girl, told her to seize the day. With every killing's worth more servants of pleasure. I burned the letter in which you told me to think of you never. A porcelain queen only seen in my dreams. I kept her clean there when no time could intervene. Late night blushing, intoxicated touches. I dragged myself stupid and now remember nothing. Ever closer they came, with plans to end my reign. A time of complete change and nothing remains the same. An accusation swayed by the devil's persuasion. Inside that fascination is where I kept you waiting, with a desire to return and burn so violently. Asking unsurprisingly, why would you lie to me? Yo, why would you lie to me? Asking unsurprisingly, why would you lie to me? The Bedlam Beggar, TCG, Dark Romanticism. Yo, denied in the sea. You speak with such weakness. Many a sleepless night, peering into bleakness. Or previous secrets you held, claiming it was your world. Repelled with a farewell, it was there when you fell. Denied in the sea. You speak with such weakness. Many a sleepless night, peering into bleakness. Or previous secrets you held, claiming it was your world. Repelled with a farewell, it was there when you fell. This wild man in rags, standing in the promised land. A rose placed in my hand represents all that I am. Could never forgive, questioning all that I did. I'm slowly losing losing the will to live with nothing left to give. And it all comes down to this, a swelling winter's mist. Many lies were told in the pursuit of happiness, painstakingly taken apart as we marched. Every stride towards the finish line tarnished from the start. Still awake with heartache and disgraceful betrayal. A stifled breeze couldn't flourish with a tendency to fail. Keeping your haven, shocked with what you might find. An image of the dead princess kept on me at all times. On the stairs where you found me, flowing slow poetry with pent-up aggression, every intention of letting go of me. A tainted theme complicates all the once gleamed. Reclining figurine sat somewhere between the serene. A sense of isolation in a place of belonging. Wandering with a longing to hold on. Got you sobbing, dropping all you've gained, saying what have you done to everything you once despised of. You now have succumbed. Yo, you now have succumbed to everything you once despised of. You now have succumbed. Sinister stricken, mad lung, tears of the sun, tears of the sun. Denied in the sea, you speak with such weakness. Many a sleepless night, peering into bleakness. Or previous secrets you held, claiming it was your world. Repelled with a farewell, it was there when you fell. Denied in the sea, you speak with such weakness. Many a sleepless night, peering into bleakness. Or previous secrets you held, claiming it was your world. Repelled with a farewell, it was there when you fell. You must face great remorse all along the way. The emotions of a man before his execution date. The worthless unheard, invading clouds of certainty. You saw me by the roadside holding paintings of eternity. I punish all performers, the truth behind the trauma. Where many wept for me, chasing chaos and disorder. Gracefully embraced, defender of the faith. A spiritual gaze turned upwards without haste. Sun-kissed blades across your wrist. I do exist in a vision of domestic harmony and pure bliss. A cobra up my sleeve, I was brought to mislead. Retaliation that we weave with a sense of unease. It's Cupid's in the reach, you see. I shot him down there, cracked beyond repair. Ask him when and where, stop and stare. Over there, as I fell to the floor. Now I move amongst the poor and was never seen of before.
Where the light ends, gray on gray. I can't stay forever, all the way to yesterday.
Many pheasants in the field, all strung up by evening to capture this feeling, quietly displeasing. A grieving lady's late husband's clothes laid out daily, conjuring up new ways but could never repay me. Agonizing yet compelling, constantly resenting, deep lamenting in this story never ending. The quench defendant, I was sent for assessment. Senseless dependence plucked from each segment. A tangerine pill with the will for you to feel this. In the stillness of the wilderness I now shall reveal this. Disdainfully wait for me by curdling shores. I murder all occupants in documents signed forever yours, but it was never yours to give or dying to receive. I kept it in my thoughts for a while until it leaves. This sacred tree bleeds for a man who was wrongly hanged, and shall continue until peace is bestowed upon the land.
Where the light ends, gray on gray. I can't stay forever, all the way to yesterday.
A lifetime of shortcomings and grim misgivings, enriching in the absence of all that was missing. Clinging to the belief, stretching out of reach. I bring grief in the form of war to restore the peace. I cease to reflect, left guessing what is next. Are we not tied to what lies behind permanent death? Direct your steps towards a hole in the ground, but hear nothing but silence in response all around. Lost and never found, attracted to persist, as I finally became nothing more than a dying wish. What is there left to resist? I ask of only this, as I left her with a kiss for times to reminisce. All the doubtful gathered round you, waiting on your downfall. Pen notes on the scandal in the years you couldn't handle. All candles blown out at the end of the show, as I tied her hair in a bow, whispering that I know.
Where the light ends, gray on gray. I can't stay forever, all the way to yesterday.
That's psychokinesis.
Well, one manifestation of it. Now, some psychics have the power to move objects from great distances. That's telekinesis.
Are you trying to tell... Are you trying to tell me that a man could strangle someone from a distance?
You caught me in the pantomime, brought to a line, rocking back and forth, asking, give me time. Flabbergasted illumination, iron determination. I now shall awaken on a path least taken to avoid implications. Slit throats as I move through my removal from a careless society, seeking approval. Mutual admiration without complications sent. Slept through these wasteful days with a murmur of dissent. Spent all summer running, in danger of becoming, strumming guitar strings into something stunning. That cunning little vixen dressed down accordingly. Victorian morning mittens worn more formally, morbidly oppressed, more sordid in the flesh, or regrets that you left now frequently expressed. Fortuitous wordplay, incredulous forte, absorbing misfortune I knelt down in the rain. Harrowing foresights through these passageways narrow. We change channels, send an arrow through a cloud of sparrows. Unravel dreams meaningful into streams of anxieties. High tides of all varieties come touch me quietly. As the lady with the crow sings all secrets from within. As I step back and threw my hat into the ring. A style so beguiling, kept all photos of you smiling. Until you're uprising, I was wistfully idolizing. Divinely inspired, I was once a gentleman admired. Of all that you've desired, thrown out and expired. What do you seek in this place where our two pulses meet? Complete liberation in every sentence that I speak. At your peak you couldn't teach, overcome and compromise. Your fall was as dramatic as your rise, ill-advised, despised by many. She dressed in suggestive ways, devising violence in the shadows where she now strays. Leopards came in flames, leaping out my eye sockets. We rotten pickpockets, weary forgotten prophets. Half built, abbeys left deserted when you heard me coming. Brain numbing, jaw dropping, veins robbing, slave robbing, pigeon fancier, shadow dancer, the master enchanter, the ancient spellcaster, inside the ever after. Humble merchant, sea serpent, I mumbled to the spell. Came up from the well, dragging a pungent smell. A gorgeous orchid tribute, no calm without dispute. Refuting all claims you made, hapless, destitute. A traveller's memoirs filled with half-truth and rumour. The stupid executioner, you should have come a lot sooner. I shall see you in the future as strangers on a train. A wild lion maned and displayed to great acclaim. Swept away all the shame as they came calling. Bullets for my brigade, found you all by the morning.
There are many mysterious phenomena that can't be explained. My file cabinets are filled with records of them. The Bell Witch of Springfield, Tennessee, a poltergeist, responsible for the death of a member of the Bell family. The Charles King murder case of Canada. Now, the brother of this victim had a vision of the entire incident while asleep in his home in England. And his description of the murderer led to the arrest of the man, even before news of the event had reached London.
My crown of thorns splits, giving back to the soil. A once tranquil man, now found in turmoil. Neither here nor there, I crept and caught the fever. Confessions of this old English opium eater. A long-suffering wife attacked her husband with a knife. The story began with a massacre leading a double life. Trudging through the strife, should we really have to oppose? He was once a fan of mine until I broke his nose. Under starless skies, we out, walking far. Many questions of the bizarre, asking all that we are. Held the hand of my highness and walked with such shyness. Probing but couldn't find this. A terrible lack of kindness to catch a friend, asking when this is Christopher Wren. Induced in hallucinogens, justified in ascend. Flashbacks and blackouts, the vicious backlash. Caught me counting up the stash in a plot that you had still consumed too soon. Where decrepit fruits bloom. In the ghost postcard, you reach for the yellow balloon. Short, violent, brutal lives in a city of contrast. And where do I start? A quite remarkable past. Your beautiful eyelids grew between the stagnation. Seeking classification, but first take this medication. From the birth of Venus to the reincarnation of Jesus. Impoverished is desperation seen inside the rising phoenix. My crown of thorns splits, giving back to the soil. A once tranquil man now found in turmoil. Neither here nor there, I crept and caught the fever. Confessions of this old English opium eater. My crown of thorns splits, giving back to the soil. A once tranquil man now found in turmoil. Neither here nor there, I crept and caught the fever. Confessions of this old English opium eater. The bone carving craftsmanship inspire composers. Glass blowers, gristle star pose, stone throwers. I threw them back over my shoulder as you called out my name. In old squalid London we all became the same. I move unmolested where evil must fester. From the crown's kingship down to the king's jester. Intolerable on this particular day we held sway. Those that came pleading for their lives were all turned to clay. Theatrical display with the quietness of a mouse. When terror surrounds the place, conquers all about the house. Debate in such greatness on how to equate this. You cannot attain to achieve such saint status. Spilling sweet nothings you came to tempt me in. Lounging in dens of iniquity, towns filled in sin. We stitching pirouettes, gritty, unseen depicted. Loose lips sink ships that got me convicted. Being broke and had riches, being kissed by many witches. Uncommitted in the spirit, we dug many ditches. Resisted respite in your flight unto the extreme. The mermaid in the lagoon seen I longing for thee. My crown of thorns splits, giving back to the soil. A once tranquil man now found in turmoil. Neither here nor there, I crept and caught the fever. Confessions of this old English opium eater. My crown of thorns splits, giving back to the soil. A once tranquil man now found in turmoil. Neither here nor there, I crept and caught the fever. Confessions of this old English opium eater.
Your hair.
I am in disguise. This way no one will recognize me.
I do. What do you want?
Your head. And the prize.
On the road to nowhere, I was uncovered waiting there. Say a prayer for all those trapped inside my glare. Unaware of your chances, my whole style enhances. Casting envious glances to see past your advances. Hidden with the opposition, I rose from the collision. Dripping in confliction and placed down in position. Got adrift, decomposing under oceans just roaming. I'm out past the hour of your own fear and loathing. Frozen in that moment, stripped of all components. Left groaning in condolence, steadily unloading. Shape-shifting, now drifting, I'm barely existing. Still persisting, asking is there anybody listening? As the moon briefly stops and glistens on the scene. In these signs we do conquer and rule, all supreme. A fellow at tavern and brothel, I was setting many novels. The lost apostle looking on, all the more watchful. As I placed my hand against the stark freezing darkness. You fell apart there, waiting on the heartless. My forearms extending endless as I pen this. Won't you come step forth and try to apprehend this? Cast out with the enemy, the most unfriendly. My brush strokes evoke a shark, feeding frenzy. No credence placed in amongst your wretched destiny. No end to your jealousy, entrenched in all treachery. Dancing in the vestry, come close and catch a dose from me. Hanging from the rope, is this really how it's supposed to be? All rats in my gut, I regurgitate them up. Black coffee mornings and damn cigarette butts. Plucking feathers out these ducks, still clucking. Caught your bluff with a puff and brought you only nothing. I paint a figure of such stature, avoiding capture. The White Panther anthem, slash your face with an antler. And swing the grappler that came grabbing at your juggler. Smugglers triumphant, yet there's not much hope here. All stood unassuming as the judgment came looming. Moving with a few, I still stay eluded. Lost the plot, my image staring back in ink blots. Anaphylactic shock, one by one I watch them drop. As these dry bones rot in the valleys of distrust. Spewing out your courage over everything you touch. Over everything you touch. Sinister Stricken, TCG. Dark Romanticism, Dark Romanticism. Road to nowhere, nowhere.
I see. Ramirez lied. She was not his woman. She was your woman. And she never told you. I wonder why. Perhaps I gave her something you never could. And secretly, she yearned for my return.
My grave, my pit. I have just seen them by the torch lights of the grave diggers who are digging.
my eyes, don't you? You see their look. Tomorrow they will be in darkness. Place your hand on my heart. They are going to fill it with lead and iron to explode it. At the marketplace there are people who are hiring out their windows. People who are paying to see me executed. I, who once looked at the future from the highest point of existence, as a new world, and as a fabulous empire, tomorrow I am between two boards left to rot. And you will see no more of me than a stone and a